All right, guy, we're live. This is David, Second Name Comics, doing an epilogue version, which I don't know what that means, but I thought that it was kind of cool for me to title that on my banner here. But yeah, we got Epicurean Eye Relief. We've been chatting on Instagram and also on YouTube. Really great guy, very knowledgeable, and say something, man.
How's it going, David? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so if you're not sub to Epicurean, I believe I do have a link to his YouTube channel at the description below. So please click away and sub and follow. Along with that, he also do have an Instagram page under the same name as a YouTube channel. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so I'm sorry I could not put that link. So I'll do that after this live show. So hopefully they will get some a few followers.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, we got one viewer, which is me, because I'm trying to check the chat and see how we're doing live. So yeah, man, how are things? And if you want to kind of talk a little about yourself, then go ahead.
Okay, yeah. That's pretty good. I produce some content. If you go to my page, I think I have like 12 videos now. I don't produce a lot of content, and that's probably pretty accurate. I probably make one video per month, and it's a little bit of a process to make each one because I'll do some research and editing and stuff like that. So it takes me a little while to make each video. So if you're wondering why I don't have like 200 videos, that's why. I had a channel a little while back that was I would do like firearms content because a lot of people don't know, but I am still currently a firearms instructor, but that's like a side thing. I don't really do that as my primary career. We already discussed what I did a little bit ago.
Yeah, yeah. Just to know, he's a big time contractor. He's a head of the security. He has his own thing. So, if you're up in the California area, think about your security, your homes or your business. Yeah, hit him up, man. And also we got this guy need no introduction. He is pretty much all over the YouTube community, and he's the host of the East Meets West. Here's Joker M21.
Yo, what's going on, peoples? What's up? What's up?
What's
What's
up?
up?
How's it going?
Good, man. What we got here? What we got going on, man? What we got?
We got well, this is an epilogue. We don't, me. I started this whole live stream once a month kind of thing, kind of
Yeah.
recap of what I thought about the market and the comics and the collective things and Alex, Epicurean Eye Relief, he reached out to me, say, hey, he would love to go live one day with me, which I have no idea why, because I'm such a what's that? Controversial guy, but I was really happy. I was honored, and I figured, you know what, I can give up one Sunday for this guy, and here we are, man. And thank you, Mike, for joining. I know you got a
Funny,
lot of shit.
listen. Funny how you give up a Sunday. I invite you to the show, and I'm always working. Listen, that was no
Here's the thing, Mike.
excuse. That was
Well,
no
here's the
excuse.
thing, Mike. The thing is that your show goes on live at 4 p.m.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm at work by 1, so there's no way that I can.
Gotcha. All right. It's
Yeah,
all good. It's all
yeah.
right.
So, and I do have maybe 1 or 2 Sunday a month that I do get off. And if I tell my girl that if I tell my wife, man, that I'm gonna be on a live show on a day the only day that I get off, she's
You'll
not
be
gonna
in
be a happy
trouble. You'll be
camper.
in
Yeah,
trouble. Yeah, I
yeah,
got you. I got you,
yeah.
man.
But I would love to be on the show one day, man. Kind
Yeah,
of
man. You
stir
always
things
got the
up.
invite, Dave, man. You know what I mean? So
All right,
on you.
all right. So we got we got 3 people in the chat. So let me do a little shout out. It will only take few seconds. We got Perry Comics. What's up, man? We got Escargot from the European country. I don't know where is he from, but man, he's all about J. Scott Campbell and Vampirella. Um, and we got Epicurean Eye Relief, man. Welcome. Oh, look at that. We got the Doom 143. He said I just uninvited him, Joker. Oh yeah,
Oh, okay, that's what it is. All right,
yeah.
I
All right, all right.
got
I see where it's at. All right. The Doom 143, as you know, man, he's part of the old school 9.2 crew. Real funny guy. Always breaks my balls, man, every freaking stream. So real cool guy though. Real big
he
collector.
be on tonight's show. He'll be on tonight's
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real knowledgeable also,
Oh
well,
yeah,
man.
yes he
Yeah.
is.
All right, so Alex, since you wanted to do this, I have no topics. Like I said, I woke up like not too long ago, so my head is still in my dream la la land. So
That's all
uh,
good.
I want you to take over the show and come up with the topic, and we'll pretty much give you our input for what we think, what our thoughts are.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll keep it light, but I have some stuff that I was thinking of bringing up. So I wanted to know what your both of your guys' collecting styles was. How would you describe it? Like what? How do you go about collecting stuff?
You want to go with that, Mike?
You know what? It's in progress still. All right. Since I came back in collecting, which was about like over 10 years, uh, it's changed. It's changed because I started just collecting new comic books. Then it
Hmm.
changed from just variants. Then it just changed to just collecting older back issue books. But now it's just a clusterfuck of everything, you know? So it's still in progress. I can't tell you exactly how I collect. It's just whatever you like. And
It's.
that's how I go. You
I
know.
think that's a lot of how everyone. It seems that way. I'm not going to speak for other people, but it seems like a lot of people start out the way you just described. But did you focus on a particular series or character at first, and then you branched out, or?
Yes, I always collected Batman. Batman was my guy, so Batman was gonna be collected. Uh, I started collecting heavily. I was trying to do runs when the new 52 came out. Try to collect that. I'm still a little off with the Batmans on that. But I see doing runs, your collection becomes overwhelmed, you know. So it's like you don't really
Mhm.
need this much book in your collection. So I try to trim the fat as much as I can. It's just about space basically now, and I'm running out of space. So the wife is not too happy with that. So we'll see what we do. I mean, we do auctions in the Warriors, and I try to help, but it's just I can't get these books out of my hand. You know.
Yeah, it just gets overwhelming. I mean, at the beginning, I was kind of like that too. I was just buying everything.
Yeah.
I forgot the YouTuber's name, but this guy must have. I swear to God, I don't know. Well, I don't want to say he had like millions of dollars or anything, but this guy must have had 80 books like a week, new books.
Mhm.
Like he bought like 80.
Oof.
He's like, you got to get this, you got to get this, you got to get. I was like, what the hell, dude? I can't just get all this. It's like crazy. But I was following him as much as I could for about 2 months. And then I was like, why do I have like 4 short boxes that are full already? And I just started this hobby kind of. It seemed like ridiculous in a way. I was like, no, I gotta do something else.
I
Yeah.
think I think it becomes to a point where a lot of the new collector, because I came back collecting comic books little over what 3.5 years, so going into my fourth year now. And
Okay.
that's when DC Rebirth have kicked off, and the Civil War, the MCU cinematic universe started to come. I thinking, wow, this is a great time for me to jump into DC. You know,
Mhm.
So you came
and
in at a nice time.
I came in at the time that was very dangerous. You will say, because everything is being rebooted. I got every title that Rebirth came out: Superman, Batman, Suicide Squad, whatever you
As,
can think of. I
as
got
far
them
as
all.
new books, as
Yeah,
far as new books were concerned.
and the thing about this, one thing that was dangerous about Rebirth is that they was coming out every 2 weeks, and they had cover A
Yeah.
and cover B.
Hmm.
So you think about, maybe even though they were selling at $2.99 per book, you think about
Dangerous in the sense of spending, you're saying.
exactly.
Okay.
So at that time, at being a collector, it's all about FOMO. You know,
Yeah.
am I going to miss out? And well, what am I missing? So I got cover A, cover B, every freaking main title that Rebirth came out. Of course, I read them. I think Tom King did a fabulous job in DC with Batman. Then Detective Comic, they relaunched they started to make that
Yeah,
what
the
they call it, the
legacy, the
legacy.
legacy.
Yeah.
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 So anyway, so with that, I got, within like 3 months, just like you, Alex, I had like two short boxes of all these books that I've been reading. Then
Mm-hmm.
when I realized, then I think this is when things started to click in. Is I started to calculate my loss and my gains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So to a point where much as I used to love reading comic book, then I started to think about my pocket, my wallet. I say, okay, I'm spending average about $50 a week, right? But getting all
Mm-hmm.
this comic book. But what is the end return for this?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, okay, I can read. All right, the reading is enjoyable, but this thing is taking space in my house, in my room. Then when I trying to downsize it, I got maybe 1/10 of what I spent. And
Mm-hmm.
then and that's to me like, okay, I have to readjust my collecting style.
Yeah.
Is reading really important to my collecting? I said, not really, because I always can go back and buy trades. Like, I missed out the new 52 era, but I got hard covers for this, so now
Mhm.
I can enjoy all the great book without having the floppies.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, going back is then I started to readjust my styles of, then variants came in, and I started to know the Doom 143. He's the one that actually inspired me to do this YouTube and do this haul, because I figure, hey, this dude from Hawaii, man, this local boy, if he can do it, hey, I can do it too. So, and I
You
started
inspired
to,
me, David. You inspired. I
oh
was like,
man,
this
thanks,
guy could
man.
do that.
Yeah, no. But the thing is that the Doom, the way he did it, I didn't want to do the same styles he did. I'm trying to be a little bit different, but how can you do a haul differently? And anyway, going back is then I got to meet, Freddy 562.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is just all about low print run, hard to
Mhm.
find variants, and the books that not many people look into. So he kind of encouraged me to go in that rabbit hole,
Mm-hmm.
to find the books that not everybody's showing. It's not a FOC, it's not a new release. It's more about showing books that not many people might not know about, or maybe they do, but they've kind of forgotten about it. So to me, right now, it's all about monetary value, what I can get back. I want to get into the
Mm-hmm.
blue chip key, major or minor key issues that I feel happy without, without me thinking that, hey, you know what? Why am I doing this? So,
Right.
and I was talking to this Hazel Dan, he's another YouTuber, rich great couple, and they
Yeah.
asked me what I think about my collecting. It's like, I'm buying this store variant like crazy, man. But I'm a cover collector guy. If I see a cover, regardless what the storyline is, I have to get it. And I just went too much in it. So right now I tell myself, you know what, I gotta stop everything.
Now,
Gotta
if
stop
you,
everything, readjust my collecting, get top 100 books that I really want to keep for the long run, and rest of it I can sell it, or maybe do an auction one day. So that is where my mindset is. But it's just my collective stuff is I need to have a value in the books that I get, or if I need to break even though I lose, I don't want to lose 90% of what I invested in that comic book.
Yeah.
That is
okay.
my
And
mindset right now.
that's the way it should be. As of now, that I mean, I only collect when it comes to DC, Batman, Marvel, FF, Silver Surfer, and that's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing that unless I'm specking. If I see a book, America Chavez or whatever cases, I'm collecting that. For future investment or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But now that I'm doing like all these indie spotlights and stuff like that, I'm more into new comic books when it comes to the independents now. So and then that's another rabbit hole. You got to pick and choose too with that. Me personally, a lot of people don't like it. I like to read digitally before I pick up a
Mm-hmm.
book. This way, it don't be too much in my collection, and then I'll go pick it. If I like it in reading it digitally, then I'm gonna go get my copy in Midtown or whatever the case is. You know,
Right.
so that kind of like from where I started to now is a big difference. I still have the clutter from before, you know what I mean, but now it's just more calm. It's more calm now. I'm not getting everything every Wednesday. I'm not getting every back issues that I want. I'm taking my time. I'm taking my pace. But at the same time, when my man said right there with you picking and choosing with your books for your investments and your collection, that's definitely a smart play to do.
So did you get around, or no, you've consistently collected the whole time, or did you get back in like what David was mentioning? You came back in the 2010s or whatever.
I collected since I was a kid. Did I just stop? I started my job like 16 years ago, 15 years ago. And I literally work across the street from Midtown Comics. So I took a trip to Midtown one day when, back then. And then that just kind of got me back into reading comics and collecting everything every Wednesday. And it was a process I had to learn throughout the years. And I'm still learning. We're all learning,
Yeah.
But now like Dave is playing it smart too, better than me. He's better than me because he's not having all these books around, for no reason.
Yeah.
And definitely investing. Like if you're investing in like Miles Morales or whatever, just those are collections you need to have for the long term, long play. Because right now that book has not peaked its high yet. So those are
not yet.
Those are books you need to invest in for the future, basically.
So I was talking, something David was mentioning that it was dangerous at the time that he got in.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that it was a prime moment if you had the knowledge base that you have now when you got in back then. Because you would have been buying Hulk 181 and all this crazy stuff back then. You would have been like, yeah, I'm going to.
Dude, the money that I spent in that year, I believe was what, 2000 and what was that? 2015 was it? 2016?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the money that I spent on a new comic book day. I could have got myself an AF-15.
Yeah, easy, right?
Easy. That if I just hold back for at least about 6 months back then, at least I could have gotten a 1.0 AF.
Mm-hmm.
Easy, because it was only a few $1,000s back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
it's
yeah,
crazy.
if I had the knowledge I had back, I mean, now, man,
it stings me. It stings me a little bit because I came back. Well, I was never like a avid collector at any time. I would pick up stuff just casually. I was one of those people that if I happened to see a comic book shop, I'm talking about the early 2000s. So if I saw a comic book shop, I'd go in and pick up maybe 2 or 3 books, and that's it. And they'd usually be Punisher related. They'd only be Punisher books.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, okay, picked up a couple copies, leave. And then maybe a month or 2 would pass, and then I'd see another comic book shop and do that. So I was like super casual about it. I didn't say I got to collect every single issue. I didn't have that mentality back then. But yeah. And what got me back into it was the Punisher Max series. So, but yeah, if I had the knowledge base I have now, and because of my background and what I do for a career, I typically research stuff and minimize risk before I enter into something that I'm not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it actually stung me a little more when I realized my mistakes, because I was just collecting a bunch of stuff that I want to say 90% of it I had zero interest in. I was just following whatever this guy was saying. He's like, get this. I'm like, why am I getting this? I'm like, I have to like examine this from the way I typically look at things. I got to look at this intelligently. I'm like, okay. And it took me about 2 to 3 months, I would say, to learn to focus on things that I actually wanted to do and not follow a trend or something like that.
Well, it took you fucking 3 months. Actually, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It took me how many years just for me to realize that what I'm doing is that I wasn't happy with it. But before we move on, let me just do more shout outs. We got some more people in the chat. So we got JR Hams 78. What's up, man? We got the Doom 143, the My Man, Hazeldan 1216. Really great guys, great collectors. They also, if you guys watch Hazeldan's YouTube channel, they also have evolved in the way that they collect. So go check them out. Comic Book Estate, Mr. Black Widow himself, everything about Black Widow. he would just get it, man. We got Gumba 213, another great collector. Is all about Silver Age and blue chip comic book. And we got yeah boy,
Brewski.
Brewski. Fucker, I sent him a link, but I guess he'll join us towards the end of the show.
I
He
think he's
said,
working. I think.
"Oh,
Oh, he
is that
joined.
what it
Oh,
is?"
okay. All right.
All right. So we also got Omega Comics. He's the dude that I got my Incredible Hulk 635, the autograph of which was signed, and I got him redo a
Nice.
remark and came back as 9-6. So yeah, so Omega Comics. He's all about Golden Age and old comic book as well too. We got Felix in Comics, JoJo. She does a movie review, trail reaction, great collector. She's been in the YouTube for I think about the same time as a little bit longer than I have, but a really great person, girl, very attractive as well too. So hopefully hopefully my wife didn't heard that.
You're not shooting your
Uh,
shot right now, bro. You're not.
yeah, I know. I just shot myself in the foot there. What? All right, so we got about 12 people. So we're talking about the collective styles where we collect and
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, hey, but Alex, but you said like going back, what you're saying was you used to collect casually, right?
Hmm.
You only get Punisher book, but at that time you're not buying all this different title that you weren't interested
No,
in, right?
no,
Okay, and you started to watch this YouTube channel. This guy was buying what 80 comics
a week,
weekly.
a
Yeah,
week, yeah,
yeah.
easy.
So did that FOMO got you thinking that hey, maybe this book might be worth something?
Some of it, but see, look, I was pretty discerning with YouTubers. I'm pretty good at judging someone based off of their knowledge, like what they discuss. I'm usually good at understanding what their knowledge base is on a topic. This guy had been in the hobby or whatever you want to call it for years and years. By the way he was talking about the 70s and growing up in the 70s and collecting Hulk and everything. He seemed to know like the history of every character he brought up in conversation in his YouTube streams and stuff. And I was like, let's just check some of this. Is he accurate on what he's talking about? And he was. A lot of the stuff he must have. I don't know if he was a dealer because not everyone is completely open about what they do. Like some people are actually comic book dealers that are on YouTube that just carry themselves as a casual collector, but they actually have a business probably. Like they're probably selling books because this guy, unless that was just his business was to sell comic books, he must have bought like 20 to 30 copies of different issues that came out. Why would you? That doesn't sound normal to me. Like, would you? And he would do that with several titles. So it just seemed like, wow, okay, maybe this guy knows what he's talking about. And I was like, okay, I'll get that book. And he would just keep bringing all these books out. He's like, and I got 10 of these, and I got 10 of these. I'm like, so I'll just get one. If he bought 10, I'm not spending what he's spending. I'm just spending it on one, right? So I'm like, okay. And he seemed to know the entire histories of characters. Like he had an encyclopedic knowledge of things in Marvel and DC. And to me, that was impressive because other people weren't talking like that about characters. They were just saying to get them, just to get them, just get it. Like there's no logic behind it. There's no reasoning. So I was like, I don't really want to listen to those people. I'll listen to this guy. He was right on a couple of things. I'll say that. I made some money off of what he was saying. But the ratio, like you were just discussing a moment ago, I wasn't making as much I was spending. And I was like, I'm done. I think this guy seems intelligent. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. But for the most part, all of it was just entertainment stuff. It wasn't anything where I'm going to buy a book and then 2 months later it's going to go up 10 times in value. You know what I'm talking about?
Like, okay, I'm done. Fuck you. You know.
Yeah.
I
And I
listen
was
to
like,
you. You grabbed 10 book. I got one. I got nothing. Bye bye.
yeah.
No. I mean, you have to think this in a way where, as for me, I watch a lot of. I'm sure we all watch YouTube channel. People who's been in YouTube community doing haul video for for years and years. You know, some people might not be the most smooth talker. You know, as for me, that I don't think I can even sell a book if I wanted to, you know. And I've been in retail for over 20 years.
In what sense, though? In what sense?
In a sense where I have to be more of a one-on-one kind of guy. Like Alex
Mm-hmm.
and Mike, you know, if we met in person, I can talk to you, I can sell you whatever I feel that is right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But when it comes to have a phone in your face, right? And trying to
Mm-hmm.
talk about comic book, I can't.
It's awkward.
It's awkward. I can tell you right now, I've been doing this haul video for over 3.5 years now, but still till this day, I do 20 takes. 20 freaking takes. You know, sometimes it could be going into like 10 minutes into my haul, and I say something stupid like, fuck, what did I say that thing? So it's to a point where I think it's to a point where you need to just pick the channels that don't really tell you you need to get this book, you need to get this book. And this is why I love East meets West. Okay. I mean, beginning of this their whole tandem with Gomez and Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Before Doom came in with Josh, and I think it was just Mike and Gomez.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, do they know what they're doing or what, man? Because
I mean, listen, I could tell you.
If you guys are on this panel, man, you guys got to watch their very first 3 freaking live shows, man.
Yo, Dave, I could easily tell you why that was, why you think that was. Because in the beginning, East meets West wasn't supposed to be what it is now. Right now, back then, it was mostly me and Gomez interviewing the community, people from before. That's why I wanted to Doom, because I feel like the people who jumped on, who was in on the comic community, the newbies, basically, that are now, don't know the 9.2 crew, don't know some of the New York Warriors, don't know certain people like that. So that's why I try to bring me and Gomez, trying to interview the Doom, try to interview James, King of the Golden State, stuff like that. And sometimes mixing it up, interviewing some of these new people, like Josh. Josh is only been collecting for like a year and a half, and you see his collection.
Dope, man.
Exactly. So to get a perspective from a new collector that's been collecting only from a year and a half.
Mike, you have to think your channel have evolved in a way.
Yes.
And so you just thought that maybe introducing some of this new, the YouTube channels for maybe new collectors, saying, hey, check these guys out, do a, I don't know. I guess what we're doing with Alex right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Just have a new face on, saying, hey, there is this guy in YouTube coming. You need to check him out because he might strike your interest. But your channel got evolved to a point where you're not telling people to get the book. You are showing some of the books that is out there that might strike an interest if to your liking.
I think what you just said is one of the telltale signs that someone who you're listening to is a fairly intelligent person, because they're not saying this is going to go. They're not saying that. They're saying more like, you know what, I've done the research and this seems like something that would be positive for you, but I'm not saying to do it. I'm not an expert. If someone starts out with, I'm not an expert, that means that's a good sign. That's not saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. No, listen, nobody's perfect and an expert when it comes to knowing everything. But I give credit to a lot to the Doom 143, because he's helped out. He's not all the time in the show, but he's always giving advice backstage and telling us, yo, you should talk about this. Let people know which books are hard to find. Don't tell them that go get it. We don't tell you to go, yo, buy this book. It costs $800. Go buy it. But we want you to be aware. Oh shit, yo, I didn't know this book exists. A Transformers book that costs like $800. But saying like we just put the platform out there. You know what I mean? And whether you have the money to buy it, you buy it. You know what I mean? But I want you to know that that book is out there. You know what I mean?
So yeah, because some stuff goes completely against logic. Like a book will increase and it just doesn't seem, you can't comprehend why it's going up. Maybe the maybe the writing's terrible, the artwork's terrible, the characters' powers or whatever don't really impress you. It's like, but why is it going up? It's still going up. Okay. Sometimes it goes completely against everything, but other times you do have the logic. So it's like luck. There's an
Yeah.
element of luck to this hobby. You can't say that there isn't, right?
No,
mean-
there's definitely luck at times. There's luck at times, yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good segue to I think what Alex wants to cover as well is the crazy market. I mean, I think every YouTube channels or live channels are talking about this. You know, the market is just so crazy right now. And I think there was one book. I think it was Spawn 230. It's an homage to Batman 423. Yeah.
Mhm. The Mcfarland cover.
And I was just going through yesterday just to see what kind of book I can post for whatever on in my Instagram.
Mhm.
So I pulled that out thinking, hey, this is a pretty cool. And it's like Mcfarland, right? So I took a picture of it and I thought, hey, I wonder how much this book goes for. So I go on eBay, right? Fucking eBay. The untrustable source of eBay, pricing. So I go on eBay and I checked it out. It's like, what? When this book became a freaking $100 book?
Huh?
Raw, okay,
A raw book.
In a high end 9.8 was selling for about what, $400-500.
I was going to say 5. Yeah.
I thinking what? Then I was thinking, okay, but this is a march to Batman 423. So I went back. I said Batman 423 CGC 9.8. I'm like, boom, that thing is freaking almost like 1K.
Yeah,
I think it's more now. I think it's more.
Okay,
it's
going
just
back to
going
what
up.
Alex saying is, why? Is it because it's the first Mcfarland Batman cover yet?
I don't think it is though. I don't think it. I think it's one of his first Batmans. I don't know if it's the one. I could be wrong, because I heard two people say two different things, and I should have kind of fact checked it.
No, no need to fact, because we're all guessing right now.
Okay, yeah.
No. Regardless of what it is,
Yeah.
if it is or isn't his first work, that's a classic cover.
It's
That's
either
the cover.
It's either the first or second, but there is something about the cover that he did post publicly. He said that there's a mistake in it, and maybe that added like significance to it, and people wanted it more because he said it.
Could be.
There's, that moon that's behind Batman.
Mhm.
I think in the upper left corner of the moon, it's colored in red instead of yellow. So that was a mistake on the cover that he said he made, and it was never corrected.
Well, okay, so it's a color of the moon that makes the book jump high, because he fucked up on the colorings, and so okay, guys, spend thousands of dollars just because the moon's supposed to be red, but it came yellow. All right, so anyway, so with that, I mean, it's a crazy. This other book that I want to mention is the about this controversial cover about Amazing Spider-Man 601. You guys know about this?
No.
All right. So there was this one unknown artist has called out J. Scott Campbell for
Oh my God.
for
Come on.
for the cover of Amazing Spider-Man 601, and it
Yeah, I
all has
remember.
to do with feminism, how the proportion of her legs or her
Anatomy
head,
and shit is not supposed to be. Yeah.
just everything. He was saying this is not correct, right?
Did you
So
see what
J-
it sold for?
Yeah.
Oh
do you
yeah,
see
I
the-
was going back to that. So J. Scott Campbell came back and Twitch and he called him out. He said, during that time, so he had his reasoning why he drew what he did. Okay,
shouldn't be any reason.
That was, you know
Your
what?
point.
It was part of his artistic style, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So what he did was J. Scott Campbell did was he made a sketch of that Mary Jane pose
Yeah.
with a different way, the way that the way that she's sitting, the way she was holding the coffee, and what he did was he sold it on auction. He put it on eBay out there for people to auction off, and guess what? That thing sold for $14,000.
5 figures, yeah.
$14,000. And I was thinking, okay, after I finding that out, I go on eBay once again, untrusted source of pricing. So I went on eBay and checked the thing out. That book was only $120 book in a 9.8. Right now, that's selling for $400.
Yeah. I have nothing to say about that. That's all I got.
Oh, there we go. Hey. So Kingdom Comics, Tito, one of the Spawn and Batman enthusiasm
Batman
collector.
title, yes.
Yeah, so he said 423 is the only Mcfarland on Batman title. So There we go. That is why that book is going. So just like me, I'm a Spider-Man collector. I
Let it
love
roar.
McFarlane, and yeah, boy. Yeah, so I grabbed the 9 2 what was that? 298, 299, and 300. His very first threes ever Spider-Man
ASM.
he drew.
Yeah.
And I think I bought the his original his title, the Spider-Man, the run that he was doing. I believe was issue number 13 or 12, his last Spider-Man that he ever drew.
On
So,
the Spider-Man
on the
run.
Spider-Man run, yeah, that
Uh,
he did.
I feel, and me and Josh are talking about the ASM 298 is so underrated. It's so
It is.
underrated,
It
man.
is.
That's McFarlane's first Spider-Man. If you think about Spider-Man, you think about McFarlane's work as Spider-Man, right? You think of Ramita, but you think of McFarlane. And 298 is one of those books that you know that don't go for as much as it should, and you know.
Right.
And I mean, I just had to say that because I got my
No,
copy of that.
I picked that. Yeah, I have a copy of that too. And it was between, one of the reasons I picked up 298 was for the very reason you just mentioned. But it was also because at the time, I couldn't justify the 3K for a 98 300. I was just like, 300. I'm like, come on, dude. It's Venom. I know it's a big character. Kind of now. He wasn't so big before the movies and stuff. I'm saying. It was kind of a cool character, and I was like, okay. And then I missed the boat, and it just kept going up. So it's kind of
yeah, yeah, man.
hey, so Gomez, what's up, man?
What's up,
Hey,
bro?
thanks for joining.
Nice.
Bro, you all puffed up, bro. What you do? We pump some iron back there?
No, it's just my view. I don't have my fucking regular computer camera, so you getting the side view of my shit.
Yeah, man, Ben, you're look
You
at that.
he said you looking a little
Look at
swole,
that.
son. He said you looking a little swole.
It's my daughter's shirt, small.
That's-
No, fuck. I'm not just working. Not just decided to just pop on in. I seen Joker, seen you, and then I seen was it Epicurean?
just say eye relief. Eye relief.
Eye
Just 'cause-
relief.
Yeah, just eye relief. You're gonna butcher the name. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here,
just-
something
telling you,
leaf,
man.
eye leaf, hazard leaf.
I tell you, when Gomez talk, and sometimes I freaking cracked up when he said, "Oh yeah, the red Sonja." I'm like,
Son-
what?
Sanja,
Hey,
Sanja.
fucking put a J for fuckers. Quote that with the I. Fucking dumb fuck.
Man, gotta love the man. Gotta love the man. Hey, thanks for joining. Yeah, so we were talking about the collective style, and what has revolved and so and so. So we kind of segued into the market right now, how this
Yeah.
crazy market is. And
Well, the
I
market
think
too
this is
much.
what I've been talked about most in my channel is my live show is about market
Every
because
show, bro. Yeah.
because every day, every month, it seems like there's the book as keep going up. It's like
You're right. It's
crazy.
daily. It's daily at this point.
Yeah.
It's a crazy. So I gotta do a few more shout outs. It seems like we got a few more people. We got the where is it? Oh, the Martian Comic Hunter. We got
What's up,
Copy
man?
801. One of the guys from the Spine Tick. So thanks for joining. Rated Roar, thanks, man. Really great guy. We gotta have him. I got him. Not we. I
Rated
gotta
Roar.
have him on. Yeah, I gotta have him on one of the Tuesday shows.
Tuesday show. Yeah. Even the ESP Sweat show. Yeah. Me
Yeah.
and Rated Roar always talking, man. Yeah. Definitely.
And
man.
Planet Arizona Comics, welcome, brother.
Rawr.
We got Kingdom Comics, along with So
Yo, yeah, you got to bring back Tito too, man, because he was having technical difficulties last time he was trying to
Well,
get on, man.
yeah. Motherfucker
Yeah.
was like,
He said like he had something to say. You know what I mean? So you got to bring him back, Dave. You got to bring him back.
I'm gonna
that shit was
play.
funny.
I'm
He
gonna-
was like, and he was like that for days.
Yeah. But anyway, definitely. So yeah, The thing is that I told Alex was gonna do this about for an hour and a half to 2 hours, but last minute I gotta go look at an open house. So we stay.
Okay.
I'm gonna be on for next for another 20 minutes, but just letting you guys know that if I just cut everything,
And it,
that's my cue to go. So
No, you're gonna say your proper goodbyes. You're gonna say everything in order,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
no,
That's
there's
what
no,
hosts
no,
do
no.
on their show, bro.
There is no proper goodbye, man. I watch you guys shows, bro.
You
Every
be like
time
this,
somebody
you
do
be
a
like this, you be like,
proper, that's an additional 5 minutes per panel, bro.
Oh man.
So Alex, anything else that you want to add, man?
Yeah. I got some stuff.
Wait. You remember you remember you said you never tell people what to get or something in that line. You remember, Alex?
Well,
You
I
said
don't. I
you
usually preface by saying I'm not telling you to get this, but I'm getting this, and this is why. I usually
okay.
say it like that.
Well, he's lying
And
through his teeth. Okay. He's lying through his teeth because we communicate on Instagram, right?
Uh-huh.
So he tells me, "Hey, did you get Marvel's one?" I'm like, "No, I didn't get Marvel's
there's some
one." He's like,
exceptions. There's some exceptions to the
then
rule.
he's telling me you gotta get Marvel one because there's so many first appearances. So I'm like, nah, I don't know. It's like, so he said, no, you have to get it. Like he's telling me, yeah, he's
Did you
telling me
get it?
I have to get it. So I go on eBay, untrusted source. So I'm thinking like, and there's so many different covers. There's Alex Ross, there's this, and I figure, oh, you know what? And this looks kind of interesting. So boom, $18. I bought the book. It's on the way now, right?
Mhm.
So this is for vlog. Just remember, guys. If one of the member tells you to get the book, and he tells you that you have to get the book, if it doesn't pan out, I make sure that I'll go back to this video, and
This
I'm gonna go
video.
back to you and say, "What the fuck, man? Just let me lose $25." Of course, that was with shipping. Okay.
Oh man.
No, it looked like a good book. The Morals #1, and he published an entire article discussing the characters that he had designed and stuff. Alex Ross, I'm saying, and he's kind of a big guy, and it seemed pretty cool. So it looked like something you'd maybe want to take a look at. Have any of you guys looked at that? Gomez or Joker?
I've picked up. I haven't read it yet, but the covers were amazing on those Marvels. I think issue 2 was the one with the graffiti style on it, and that kind of caught my eye. So I haven't read them though. I haven't heard anything about that. But it's the first time I'm hearing it.
It's new to
Okay.
me. So yeah.
So I was going to ask about this, and this was a little bit. It's hard now, but do you guys ever? I mean, at one point it was kind of cool because it was like a place marker. Do you ever upgrade your books? You buy a book in a grade you don't want because it's like a place marker. You're like, okay, I have a copy of it. It's going to continue to rise, and I have it in place. So later I won't have to kill myself as much getting a higher grade. You ever do that?
I buy multiples when I can. Like you go to a comic store, they have one for 8, one for 12, one for like 15. I buy all three. I
Okay.
buy all three because if you buy all three and the market shoots up like it has, you use that lower grade to probably sell or get rid of to fund what you paid for 2 of them, and you're safe, especially during the time frame. So upgrading it, I haven't done that as opposed to like an older book like a First Parents Key.
Yeah.
I figure I'm a type of guy like I have heard this before. I think E-Ross said it. Rather have the comic as the grade it is than not have it at all.
Mhm.
And because there's so much shit out there, you're gonna find it at a comic shop. You're gonna find it at a garage sale, find it at a flea market for maybe a better condition for a price that you paid or a little bit more. But at the end of the day, you're gonna find something eventually if you are searching. If not, then
Right.
you won't. We hunt. We're hunters, so I've learned to not jump on the bandwagon right out the way when people specking shit.
I
Because
haven't learned that yet.
when it comes to comics, I buy new comics. I'm not gonna lie, but when it comes to like older comics, I kind of like be patient till the price is in my price where I know it's I'm paying fair price, and I think that's what David says a lot, fair market price, and I'm with David on that when it comes to collecting. I make sure that I'm not getting screwed over it, because
Right.
based on knowledge what we have here and knowledge from over time, I was able to gain that knowledge. In the past, if I was a new collector, I would buy whatever at whatever price. Now I kind of know, so it all depends. It all depends.
Well, yeah, and me on my hand, I started off thinking that I could do that. To answer your question, I think like I bought a low grade Batman 251,
Okay.
right? At a 4.5. Raw. It was raw, whatever. I didn't know it was a 4.5 before I slabbed it. I got it signed by Neil Adams or whatever, and then I'm in my mind I wanted to upgrade that book to like a good 7.0 maybe. I still have my 4.5. And that was like 4 years ago. Another one is my FF48. I have a 3.0 copy. I bought it raw. What was it? Sometime last year, in the beginning of 2 years ago. Off of Facebook. I'm not Facebook Market or whatever. And I took a gamble. I bought it for $400. Raw copy. Didn't know if it was color touch. Didn't know anything or whatever. Bought it. Came back a 3.0. All right. Came back a 3.0. My mind. I want to
work out for you.
Exactly. Yeah. It was blue label. So in my mind, I was like, I want to upgrade this book, and I still haven't upgraded the book yet because that book right there, a 3.0 to the grade that I want, it's still expensive.
What is it now? It's like 1,500 or something.
For a 3.0, gotta be like 1,500. Yes,
at least something like that, right?
At least it could be maybe more, depending. It might be going up now. But the grade that I want that book in, it has to be like a 6.70, and that's just an expensive book, man, to have at that grade. And I just can't do it. So I'm stuck with my low grades, man. But I would love to, the thought of buying my books at a low grade and, that's thoughtful, but I haven't done that. I haven't done it at all. I still have my low grades.
Yeah,
what about you, David?
As for me, I don't want to upgrade anything I have because I'm happy once I get it. But I would love to pick up multiple copies of that book if I'm really happy or very interested. Like when I first started, my first ever book that I got graded was ASM 300, which was has a somewhat sentimental value to it along with monetary value. So I got it. I love the cover. Came back as a 9.0. Then I had a Mcfarland through this one LCS, so I sent it out, got it signed, came back as a 9.0. I wasn't happy, so I sent it back, getting back to CGC, have them press it, and came back as a 9.0. So I said, okay, 9.0 is a 9.0. Okay, you tried it 3 times. I'm not going to do it again. So what I did was I was like, am I happy with the 9.0? Could I get a better copy of the 9.0? Yeah, of course. So then what I did was I sold off a lot of my books and got myself a 9.6. Back then, 9.6 was what I think I got it for like $550 back then.
Okay.
Yeah. So
now
this is
like
when
what?
Yeah, this is when 9.8 was barely hitting 1,000. So I figured I don't want to spend $1,000 in 9.8 back then. Like you know what, it's out of my budget. Out of my budget. So I got a 9.6. So I got a 9.8, 9.0, which back then was less than about 200. Now it's about 1,200. 9.6, I got it for 500. Now it's what, 2,300 to 26.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat in a way that panned out. So okay, one thing, Tito, you need to turn your volume down on your YouTube channel if you're watching this, because there's an echoing. Somebody have their YouTube channel on the second channel. It's like, oh, it's you? Who is it? You guys hear it?
Hold on.
See, I'm telling you, when you go live with Tito, you gotta make sure a few things. He has to reboot his phone. You make sure he has a good internet, and make sure that he.
Unless it's coming from all this.
No, it's not. It's not echoing right now. It's good now.
Bro, that thing was like level 3.
Yeah, still, man. Anyway, Tito, as you know, he was part of my my panel member from a long time ago called a comic.
Baby.
Yeah, yeah. So comic. What was it? Before freaking Sunshine sold my my YouTube title, comic.
It's all good. What we're talking about?
Comic. Fuck.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know.
Comic Channel. Wasn't it
What about
was it?
Comic
Cartel?
Con?
Was it
Yeah,
Cartel?
comic book cartel.
There you go.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, comic book cartel. So we did that show for a while. Then what happened was, the fucking life went on, and I had to move and the business. So anyway, and this guy Sunshine, he's freaking he told somebody that he could use my fucking comic book cartel to someone else.
I think you got feedback going.
Okay, we are getting echoes. Hello. Hey. Is it Gomez? Gomez, what's up, man?
I don't know. Is it me?
I don't know. Is it you?
It's probably me.
Well, anyway, let the echo go on because I think we got another 20 minutes.
Yeah, another 9 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Keep saying what you gotta say. What about for Tito? Tito just come in. What up, Tito?
Yeah, no, wait, hold on, brother. Hold on. All right, Tito.
Time is limited, my brother.
Meet Alex. Fuck it. Where's my finger going? Meet Alex. All right.
How's it going?
All right. So we're talking about the way we collected, and along with that, we segue through how the market is just going nuts right now. So we can go from there, right? All right, Alex. Yeah.
So I was just saying, if you buy books in a lower grade with the potential later that you're going to get a higher grade, like you just buy a lower grade, you don't really want the grade that it is, but you keep it because it's going to be more expensive if you don't do that. You ever do that? Like you'll buy a lower grade of a key
Tito?
And then upgrade later.
Tito, that was a question for you, brother.
No, for me? No, I don't do that. I don't do that. It's because if I'm thinking like that, my philosophy is if I am going, let's go back to Gomez. No, I think it was Joker where he said he bought a low grade or an entry level 251, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not to jump on his story, but I'll make up my own. If I one day I 9.0 251, right, and I jumped in at a 4 because that's what I can afford. Because I have a feeling that book's going to go up well, I just kind of screwed myself because if the 4.5 is going to go up, then obviously the 9.0 is going to go up with it. So you're continually trying to do a catch-up game. Essentially, you're always going to be at zero if it's going to go up.
Right. But
and JLS. Rich, if you don't know, is Dressier, right? We want back on what you said. The days of holding out and waiting for the prices to come down is pretty much long and gone.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I think what you're saying now is right. There was a time where you could have done what I was talking about, and now the stretch from grade to grade is so much further than it was before.
Yeah, I would if I wanted a 251 9.0. One of two happen. Either I save it and get it. I save and continue to save because the way that it's going, it's just going to keep going up and it's just going and going and going. Now you could be somebody who flip books to funny and get those books, those modern books that come out the gate for like $30-$50, and you could, if you have a good, I don't have a good eye, and I suck at it. Try to do anything near that. If you have a good eye on that, then that'll help offset. But if you're going for a big book, it's not going to offset it at like not too much. I mean, you'll probably save like $200, $300, $400. But when you're talking about a GSA, one at an 8.0 that's going for like $4,000 to $8,000 on any given day, it's going to take you a hot minute through all that flipping to get to it. For an example, how crazy the market is. I was looking up a X-Men 101. I have an X-Men 101 9.2. And I did something that I never thought I was going to do, and that was to flip the book.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. It had potential of being, not no lie, it has a potential of being like 9.8. And I was like, okay, well, I bought this book. I want to say I bought it for $600, $600 or $400. I'm thinking $600. That book right now at a 9.2 is like a $1,300 book, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, all these books are just going stupid insane.
Right.
I mean, if you were on the wagon like 3 years ago with Bronze and Silver Age, then, unless you have a good flipping game or a good job, you're pretty much assed out, because these books are going stupid, ridiculous money right now.
Right. There was a couple of times I had a chance. I mean, I'm going to talk about these two books in a second, but I have to use it as an example because it applies to what you're talking about. I bought a couple of copies. I didn't buy a lot. I bought a couple of copies of Ultimate Fallout 4 when it was higher, but it wasn't. Our definition and our understanding of prices has changed weekly. Before, oh, that's a good price. No, this is a good price. It just changes. It evolves.
Yeah.
$250. I paid $250, and I think I paid $350 for the next one. Only because I saw this guy. He was like a massive comic book dealer on YouTube. And this guy literally had 50 copies in a 9.8 of Ultimate Fallout 4. This was about, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago. I forgot the YouTuber's name. But I was watching this guy. He's like, this is going to be the next big book. If you don't buy this book, you're going to miss out. And then he's pulling out slabs, one after the other. And I was like, a 9.8. I'm like, this guy's invested quite a chunk of money. I mean, to get those all graded, right? I know you get a little bit of a discount if you do it in mass quantity like that. Yeah. But he had literally 50 copies, 9.8, of Ultimate Fallout 4. And I had a copy already. And after I watched that video, I was like, okay, I'll get one more. I'll get one more copy. And now the book, maybe you could get it for $3,000 or something,
Dude, I mean, a raw $400 to $800, it's just like, what are we doing right now? Our book that I posted on Instagram, 63 at a 9 went for $2,000, like $2,000 for a Spawn 68. Like, what are we doing right now? It's just insane, this market.
I gave those books away as an AOK early in the days. Which I have no regrets, because I believed in that character. And when I do give AOK to people, the price doesn't really matter. That Ant-Man, that book is it's not really worth not much, but if it means something for someone, I give it to them.
Right.
So
I have a question for you. And I haven't done a whole lot of research, but the research that I did find, it's stagnant. But I know you're a big variant collector, right? Yeah, you branched out to other keys. But one thing that I see lacking in the comic book market is the variant gems, like the old school, like 2011s, 2017 variant really hasn't boomed as much as think in the comic market that we are in now. What's your thoughts on that? Or if you disagree, then please let me know.
No. I think when it comes to incentive variants, I think the year 2012 was the year that that pretty much set apart when it comes to this incentive variants. I think that was one of the very few when Marvel did it. And I think that's when New 52 as well too. Then when they started doing it as well. The reason that I don't think this is not getting the attention, because there's so many out there. and to a point where it's a pick and choose market. Like X23 one out of 25, the Lotto. Everybody loves X23, and that's a cool ass cover. It's not easy to get because at back time, not many people order 25 copies of X23. If they did, not many people were sure of getting that one out of 25.
Can I expand or interject for a second?
Yeah. Please cut me off anytime because sometimes I could be just speaking off my ass. So
sometimes I think what you're onto something, but the older variants like that, the virgin covers, I think they never had the type of exposure that newer variant covers are getting now, as far as like media and stuff. Talking about like early 2000s to 2012, like you were just discussing a moment ago, I don't think that there was as much exposure for it, like on Instagram and everything, and everyone's talking about it and everything like that. So I think that's why it hasn't picked up yet. I don't think, I'm not saying that it never will. I think maybe there's like a niche group of people that are looking at books like that, and until more people say, hey, there's only 50 of these in circulation, and this is significant because it's whatever it is, then people are going to go, oh, I got to get it. And then all of a sudden you're going to see the values go up. I'm just speculating. I don't know if that's correct, what I'm saying, but.
Right.
A lot of it is store exclusives too.
That shit out of here.
Store exclusives, having racial variants and store exclusives, it kind of messes up with the book, especially if it's a key appearance or some meaning to it. When they have the gates like that, it's hard to have that value in a way.
I think the publisher kind of knows the market, and knowing that the growth of variants and incentive variants, and it's just gone a little bit too off to a point where I'm not chasing those variants no more. I mean, I give you a good example is that Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 25. I think Sarah Pacelli did a 1 out of 25 variant on it. When I pre-ordered it through LCS, there was no image. So I figured, you know what, Sarah Pacelli, she's a good artist. Miles Morales being hot, why not pick it up? So I grabbed it, and then I paid $20, so a little over the ratio, under the ratio, but $20 for unknown cover for Sarah Pacelli and Miles Morales. Why not get it, right? So I got it. A week later, I checked eBay, untrusted resource pricing. So anyway, I checked it out, and that book is going for like $8, $9, $10. And that cover is shit. Have you seen that? Oh man, I swear to God, and to a point from then on, I say, you know what? I'm not gonna buy incentive variants ever again, and I think I'll stick with store variants for a while because I just love the covers. You can't go wrong with, if you're a cover collector, you can't go wrong.
Joker, what's your thoughts?
I don't know, man. I'm very pick and choose nowadays. I'm not into the incentives like my man over there, like Dave. I'm not too much into like the hard to get books. I'm more into the reading. You know what I mean? I'm more into the book and what I like or whatever. So just like my man Dave said before, the pick and choose market is what it is now, and that's what I've been saying too. It's tough to compare now to back to 2011 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because the game switched so much.
I gotta be more specific. I'm not really talking about 2019, 21 variants. I'm about the older variants.
Oh, you're talking the older books, yeah.
Yeah, the 2000, 2012s, where in past you would kind of go, we're climbing, but then when 2020 came about, they kind of stayed stagnant, and everything else went up. So is that the market saying care about variants? All we care about are the keys, Or is that saying we don't know about the variants and all we do know is about the peach?
I think it's a mixture of what you just said.
Good insight on that, though. Good insight. Yeah.
Let me interject one thing that the Doom 143 has said on one on a East Meets West show. He got a book that he's been looking for over what 5, 8, 10 years or what?
I'm look for that book.
Okay. So I guess it's all depend on the individual person that who wants to pay certain amount. When it comes to this incentive variance, it's a very touchy subject because back in 2012 when this Venomized covers came out, they did the whole 1 out of 50 Venomized. Not all 1 out of 50 is blown up. Right. There is a pick and choose. Why? Because I think there was some few interest because some individual has pick and choose this cover saying that these are the ones that you want to get, or these are the one that was highlighted. Like Invincible Iron Man, I think was 550 or 510. That one of mine, and I think the other one was Hulk, Incredible Hulk number 4, the Mundo. I think there was an X-Force one that is. So those are the one that people start talking about. But there's also so many other 1 out of 50 variants that not many people are talking about. Each title on the Marvel run during the back in 2012, they had a 1 out of 50 incentive variants, a Venomized. But not everybody's talking about them. Why? Because nobody's highlighted them. Nobody's talked about them.
So are you saying that social media platforms create a market based on who says what?
Of course. Let me say one more thing. Shout out to Mel V. It's Junkie Chat's son. I mean, he has a great podcast. I mean, you gotta if you're not listening, if you're not watching to him, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
All right, you should. But the thing is, there was this new comic book that came out. It's Silk number 2 or 3. That was it.
25.
Yeah, 1 of 25. I think it was a Bartel cover. Was it?
No, it was a different art.
Was it Yoon?
No. Yeah, it has a yellow background. She has a sneaker.
That's not a Bartel cover, I don't think. I know you're talking about those.
Yeah,
she's showing off for Jordans or something like that.
Yeah, she's with a hip hop kind of thing, and and they highlighted that book. Say this could be one book that you might want to take an interest in. All right. And that book was, right before pre-order, you could get it for like $30-$40. Right after that show came, week later, that book became an $80 to $100 book. Now, I could be mistaken. I don't want to give all the credit to Mel and his panel members, to kind of give that book a little bit more attention than he deserved. But it is what it is. I mean, you got 100-something people watching your live channel against the books that you telling them that this is a great cover. This might be the hard to find because not many store LCS have ordered 25 copies.
That's true.
That book. So there is some few information that grabs people, but like I said, it's a to our own individual that want to spend that kind of money on that certain book. All right.
Yeah, but that goes with
everything.
And the reason why I ask about the variant thing is because I do have an X-23 one, and then I was looking at Moon Knight one, right? And I was looking at that Moon Knight one, and just giggles. I was on eBay looking at it. I was like, okay, this one just went up just a little bit. And then I went to the X-23 one, and I was like, okay, this one's been like this for a hot minute. So I was just trying to figure out the logic of.
There's no logic.
And which is crazy because I'm looking at a 9-point cast number one going for fucking $2,000, and I'm like, what?
Hey, did you check like the last sales? Because a lot of people say a lot of people put shit on sale that's last sales. that book doesn't really sell right now. It's probably going based on what was sold for, as opposed to these new books selling for this much price or whatever. That's why shit goes up in price because of the
People
second.
just holding off until X23, and then next thing you know, the Delato 3.1 is going to be all over eBay with $3,000, $2,000 sales. So I mean, it is what it is. It's
So I guess
a talking point on variance versus what's going on right now. How it's like this, and the variance is just slow walking it.
yeah. So I think
Rose
to me,
Bish, that's
right-
the artist that you're talking
yeah,
about.
Rose Booth, Besh,
Yeah, the best.
Bish.
Besh, yeah. So
Son
anyway,
of a bitch.
to me is if you have a YouTube channel, you have about 10K to 9,000 followers, you go live and you have over 80 to 100 people
Views.
watching watching you live, 100 people watching you live
Yeah.
on such a small community when it comes to comic book. It's big. I mean, shout out to Tivo, the Lola the Long Box, shout out to Mel V, shout out to people at Spine Ticks and also East Meets West. I mean, you guys, it's not like you guys influence the market, but you do have some influence.
No. We do influence. Let's not get stupid, okay?
Okay. No. What I'm saying is that there is a handful of channels.
You go back to Lightning 2288 with his top 50. Look, he has 60 or 40, either 48,000 or 65,000 views on his top 50.
I never watched any of his videos.
Never watched none of his
Never
videos?
watched him. No.
Hey, Night Crew, when you guys did yours, I remember thinking, God damn it, why did they say it out loud? I wish they wouldn't have said it on air, because you go right into eBay. Next thing you know, you start seeing sales. Merchant was ridiculous for that.
I mean, it's to a point. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to consider myself, but I mean, there is some influence.
Honestly, it deals with reputation and how good you are with the market.
Yeah.
You know, if you start seeing, okay, Tito said, buy X-Force 43, and people are like, who the fuck is Tito, and why am I buying an X-Force 43? Like, it all deals with reputation.
I think if there's multiple people and there's people all agreeing on a particular thing, there's a lot of validity to what you're saying. But I don't think there's any one person. I don't think there's an Elon Musk of the comic book community where he's like, you got to do this, and all of a sudden.
I think we have. You know what? Time has come for me to say we got to end this short. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said,
just when it was getting good, bro.
I know.
Quick question, David. Let me see if I could squeeze this in for a second.
What?
Quick question. Okay, so Batman Beyond #1 and Ultimate Fallout 4. Do you think that's the Tech 27 and Amazing Fantasy 15 of the modern age?
No.
Nothing's gonna beat Tech 27 or AF15.
Yes. I would say yes.
They're the modern version of those books.
Yes, I say.
How many years from now?
Well, the thing is that in a degree that it's become the first appearance of a character, yes, but it wouldn't. You can somewhat compare, but you can never say it is that book for modern. No, nothing will come near Action Comic, Tech 27, or AF15. Nothing. I'm sorry.
Could you see those books at 5 figures or 6 figures even 20 years from now?
Ooh, not 20.
Less?
I'll give it about 40. 6 figures?
6 figures?
Eventually, yes.
Eventually.
That's the correct answer. There you go.
But once that modern books become a fun,
as Fallout, I honestly don't on the same level. I think.
But here's the thing: if that Ultimate Fallout 4 that variant becomes a 5-digit book, you know that AF15, the Silver Age, gonna be a 6-figure. So the market will dictate, but to a point where You know what? I don't know. I'm not gonna sell my Ultimate Fallout variant, but definitely I'm gonna sell close to 80% of my books that I have to get my AF-15 in a 1.0, and that'll be my end game, and that's it. I mean,
That's the one.
That's the
the
grade
one.
you're comfortable with at 1.0.
Yeah, so 1.0 is what I'm not gonna get 1.0.5, 1.0 is something that I'll be very satisfied with the lowest grade. And once I get that, I don't see myself why I want to collect anymore, because that's why I started this collecting and readjusted my collecting. Going back to the first topic that we have said, you know,
David, quick. How come you didn't pick it up 3 years ago?
shut up.
4 years.
Watch it on the rewind. Watch it on the
Yes.
rewind. I have said what I had to say on the rewind. So, yeah, because I was stupid. Who knew?
For me, like there's 3 books that I'm really pissed off because I wasn't willing to buy the book at the price it was going, with the hopes of going down. Well, that dumbass decision I made 4 years ago is costing me, a comma now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, God damn.
Yeah, we're all stupid, and we get a little bit smarter, but we still do stupid things. But hey, you know what? I really gotta go. Say you guys goodbyes, and all right. So,
Later, guys. It was good
thanks
hanging
everyone
out
on
with
the
you.
yes, thanks everyone on the panel for joining me. Like I said, I'm really sorry I got to cut this short. Last minute thing that I have to go watch a house and blah blah. Long story short, I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right,
You gotta go.
hey, thanks guys. Till later. Aloha, mahalo, and shoot.
Later.
Later.